Hello my little naughties, welcome to Goya Tales. Today we are going to read a story which is about magic, right? So what comes to your mind when I say magic? Colorful magic, glittery magic. We all know a lot of magical creatures like fairies, elves, unicorns. No? I'm sure all of you love unicorns. But the story that we are going to read today, it says unicorns are the worst. Really? How could that be? Who says unicorns are the worst? No? Let's find out in this story, which is written by Alex Willian and he has illustrated as well. And this book is published by Simon and Schuster. As I said, there are many magical creatures, and one such creature is narrating this story, and he is a goblin. Have you all seen goblins before? Do you know how they look like? Goblins, they look like these tiny little creatures. They are much shorter than dwarfs, and they wear a very small, tiny piece of cloth, which is called a smock. So this goblin says, for hundreds of years, I have been doing my important goblin business in peace. So what does a goblin do? So he documents the spells, magical spells like abracadabra, and he gathers ingredients for spells. They change something into something else, right? So they need ingredients for spells. And then he alphabetizes the ingredients that he gathers for spells. Alphabetizing means arranging in alphabetical order, like F for frog, G for goblin, H for hat. So I've been doing all this in peace, without any interruptions, without any distractions. But who decided to move next door? There is a meadow which is right next door to the goblin's house, and who has moved there? Unicorns. But look how colorful they are, no? So the meadow is beautifully green and the unicorns are much colorful. But the goblin, it doesn't seem like, it likes it. He says, okay, I know what you're all going to say now, right? You will say, unicorns are the best. Unicorns are magical, blah, blah, blah. So many things about unicorns. Yes, I know unicorns are magical, but there are other magical creatures as well, like elves, fairies, and what's the other one? Oh, right, goblins. Right, so he is a goblin and he says, we are magical too. I have studied the forgotten magic that lies deep inside the earth. I can do wonderful things, like I can change a sock into a slug, and I can transform a broccoli into an ice cream, and I've also mastered, how to put the 3-strand braid. But in spite of all this, does any of you ask for a goblin-themed birthday party? No, right? See? The entire birthday section is full of unicorn-themed stuff. Unicorn hats, unicorn paper cups, unicorn plates, unicorn buntings, unicorn balloons, unicorn games, etc., etc., etc. Right? It's completely, all the birthday-themed stuff are unicorns. And meanwhile, all that unicorns do is just frolic around. They don't do any serious business. They just keep frolicking around. Frolicking is just playing and moving around happily and on their dainty hooves. But frolicking isn't even difficult, right? Goblins can frolic too, but we just choose not to because magic is serious business, right? So goblins, we don't do all this frolicking around and we take magic very, very seriously. See, horse plus pointy is a unicorn, correct? So I don't get it. They are just horses with some pointy heads. So what? Even I have such pointy ears, the goblin says. Have you ever heard me, going on and on about these pointy ears? No. And what else is annoying about the unicorns? The glitter. So much glitter. And do you realize how difficult it is to remove glitter from a smock? This is all about the unicorns. And what else does the unicorn do? They keep playing their musical instruments. They are constantly playing their music instruments and playing around. Newsflash, unicorns. Please, not everybody likes harp music. And the tea parties. So many tea parties. They just keep playing around and enjoy having tea parties. So Goblin says, it's not like they've ever asked me to one of their tea parties. Not that I would have time for tea parties, right? When there is a lot of important work to do. Like, say for example, the shrub is not going to document by itself. I need to document this. And, do I enjoy a good cup of tea? Perhaps, but we'll never know because someone around here has to take magic seriously, So somebody has to work, and not everybody can have tea parties. And it keeps on and on saying, you know what? I wouldn't go to one of their silly tea parties even if they did ask me. You know why? Because unicorns are the worst. So the goblin doesn't like unicorns. He says, I would, rather be neighbors to gnomes. Like gnomes, or, even this dragon, or a chicken, or wait a minute. What did the goblin just see? It saw a dragon. So the goblin runs saying, oh, dragon, 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 run for your lives. The dragon is chasing the goblin. And he is running. And finally the dragon caught him. What happens to the goblin then? Luckily, who comes to the rescue? Well, I guess unicorns do have some good traits as well. So his neighbors come to his rescue. And the goblin says, for instance, you know that unicorn's glitter can actually put off the dragon fire? And their dainty hooves are actually very strong. They pack quite a wallop. And the harp music that they were playing all this time, it can be quite disorienting. Like confusing the dragon. And on top of all this, the goblin now realizes that the unicorn's horn is just more than a pointy. It has such beautiful magical powers that made the dragon disappear. Okay, fine. So I think as far as neighbors go, unicorns aren't that bad after all, right? But I'm sure all of us can agree that dragons are the worst. And what is the goblin doing now? He finally joins one of the unicorn's tea parties. So, unicorns are very colorful and very magical and they're very cheerful creatures, right? So I think that is why we all love unicorns, no? They have such a positive vibe, a happiness vibe all around them. And unicorns are known to be very pure, very strong, and very magical in a good sense. Right, children? So I hope you enjoyed this story about unicorns, and I will come and meet you all next time with another wonderful story. Until then, bye bye.